Moving on to our last topic today. One more movie review. We're going to be talking about Borderlands. Hey! Talking about a review for that. If you have any interest in this movie, once again, non-spoilers first. Then we're going to spoiler territory. It was to be honest. This movie was okay at best. Very disappointing. I think that is the basest of non-spoilers I can get. You might have seen the Rotten Tomatoes 0%. You might have saw a lot of bad reviews going out there. I don't think this was the worst thing ever. I just think this was, in terms of the low bar, because I was hoping, we're still non-spoilers by the way. In terms of the low bar that was set for me, I was hoping this was going to be a Morbius situation for me. Where I didn't see Morbius right away. Everybody's shitting on Morbius. Everybody's making the memes about Morbius, right? It's Morbin time. All that stuff. Then I watch it when it comes to streaming services. And then I go, you know what? It wasn't that bad. Was it bad? Yes, but it wasn't that bad. There were some things I liked. I don't know if I liked anything out of this. And that sucks to say, to be honest. You know, I'm not the biggest Borderlands fan, but I have enjoyed all of the games. I've played 1, 2, and pre-sequel all the way through. I've played 3 like 95% of the way through. Tiny Tina's I've dipped my toe in Wonderlands. But I've enjoyed this game series for a while. And to have this come out and just be a whole lot of nothing, it was like, ugh. The only good thing out of it was I hung out with some family and really bonded, and that was great. So let's get into spoilers, shall we, for Borderlands. Yeah, so 3, 2, 1. All right, yeah, this not great. So let's talk about this. Oh, boy. All right, so we knew going into it. Weird cast, right? All right, so what they tried to do was take the Borderlands story and take little elements from 1, little elements from 2, maybe even 3, pluck these, throw it in a pot, and we're going to make something out of it, right? Cool, fine. You know, you don't want to just copy-paste story from this medium to this medium, because then it's not going to be entertaining for people, right? Now, granted, just because it's another video game adaptation, The Last of Us from HBO, that's kind of a copy and paste from the game to the show. However, the show builds on a lot of materials. You get the Bill and Frank episode, which grows the narrative and the story of Last of Us and really improves on those characters. Like, in my opinion, Bill was like, hello, I'm here. I trap everything, and I'm, crazy. To like, you just see him, and then you're like, bye, thanks for the car. And then in the show, that episode really makes you care about Bill as a character and like adds a whole nother layer of suffering and like doubt and down feelings once you learn more about him, right? Adds that connective tissue. Borderlands doesn't do anything there. They try and make their own thing, and it's too, I think the problem here is it's too, like the phrase says, too many cooks in the kitchen. And I don't think there's cooks. I think there's too many elements in the kitchen. There's too many ingredients. We tried to throw this in. We tried to throw this in. We tried to throw this in. And none of it really elevated anything. So in terms of characters, from Borderlands 1, we have Lilith, Roland, Moxie, Tannis, Marcus, Claptrap, and General Knox. Okay, cool, whatever. Then from Borderlands 2, we got Krieg and Tiny Tina. Okay, not characters that we play as, except for Krieg, who's DLC, but not even main characters, right? Borderlands 3, we might have had a villain thrown in there who was kind of just at the end of the thing. I don't know. He could have been somebody from Borderlands 1. I don't know. You get all these elements in there. And nobody really feels important. The story is definitely about Lilith, and it's kind of about Tiny Tina. Their whole plot is we're going to find the vault, or rather, no, I'm sorry. Tiny Tina's been captured. She's the daughter of Atlas, who's the big bad, the company, one of the gun companies, right? He wants his daughter back. Roland, in the intro of this story, is hired to go save her. He goes to, I don't remember where she's being held, if I'm being honest. That's how bad this was. Some other company has her stolen. He goes, breaks her out, breaks Krieg out of this jail, who's like Tina's protector. He's just a giant buffed out psycho. And he steals her from there. That's where your plot is. That's your setup, right? Then Lilith gets hired by Atlas to go find Tina through Roland and get Tina back to Atlas. So Lilith goes to Pandora to find them. And the premise is Tiny Tina is the secret key to open the vault. So that's what Atlas really wants her for. She's not his daughter. It's a clone made by Iridian technology. I think I'm following this correctly. Which the Iridians made the vault in the beginning. She's produced by that, and she is going to be used as the hidden key to open the vault, right? She's crucial because you need 2 vault keys and an Iridian person or someone like tied to that DNA tree. I know, hold on. It's stupid. So the whole setup is she's important. Tiny T's important. So everybody's hunting her down, right? So Lilith finds her. Atlas shows up, I think. Hold on. Memory's ass of this movie because nothing was memorable. Yes. And our ragtag group of bandits, not really, vault hunters, all go together. Lilith, Krieg, Tina, and Lilith, and Claptrap, and escape and try and figure out how to get to the vault before Atlas gets to the vault, right? Okay, cool. We're all on the same page. Claptrap, for those of you guys who know Borderlands lore, is the only Claptrap left alive in this movie. They took the Borderlands 2 origin, not really origin, story, and threw it in here as his origin. In Borderlands 1, there were many Claptraps. There was only one of our Claptrap, but there were many Claptraps. Then they all turned evil in the DLC, and then you ended up killing them all. That's why Claptrap was alone in Borderlands 2. You don't need to know that. He's annoying as shit here. Jack Black didn't do a bad job. He's just there to be like, I'm Lilith's protector. I just gotta go and hang out with you and blah. Whatever. So they all run away. They go to Sanctuary. I will say 1+ for this, and I know I'm shitting on this a lot. 1+, there's a lot of locations from the first Borderlands game in here. Pishwash Gully's in there. Firestone's in there. Sanctuary's in there. There's a few others, but I'm blanking. I did appreciate that. Granted, did any of them really matter? Did we spend a lot of time in them? No. We go to Sanctuary. We meet up with Moxie. Now, Moxie's supposed to be this cool, like, badass person. I don't know. We didn't really do that in this movie. She's kind of there, and she's like, oh, Lilith, I remember when you were a kid, and blah, 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 and remember your mom. Blah, blah. I don't know. She just was not interesting at all. That sucked. You get this random buddy of Roland who's in the movie for like a minute, who tries to throw him into the bus, but then Moxie helps him not be thrown under the bus. It was a very inconsequential role. I mean, congrats to the dude. You know, get your money. But it was like, why is this thrown in here? They find Tannis, who's Jamie Lee Curtis. Tannis is weird, but she doesn't do anything. She's just there to kind of help them find the keys. God. The more I'm talking about this, I'm like, oh, this just wasn't great. So it's what they're doing in this is I feel like they're just taking elements, throw it in. Like, here's Lilith. All right, Lilith's important. Roland's important. Tina's important. Tannis is important. They keep adding, and no substance is built to make you care about anybody. And I feel like that's where it really falls flat, because, like, obviously you want to care about the characters you're following in this journey. The whole build, once again, sorry I'm jumping all around, is they need to find the vault keys, right? Okay, we get some cool moments with them fighting off a bunch of psychos in like this sewer area. That was pretty cool. The gunplay's good. It's sucky that it's only PG-13, so you can't really have a lot of violence, so it's just kind of like gimmicky, like, oh, the blaster fire, and then, you know, they jump back and like, oh, they're dead. You got that. They find the vault keys. Tina's important, right? And you slowly learn that Lilith's not what actually she thinks she is. She's actually really cool. It turns out they did this switcheroo, which they do in stories all the time, of like, oh, this one person's important? No, actually, it's you. You're the hero. And it's typical movie storyline stuff. I just don't think it delivered because, one, we don't care about the characters because we didn't build any substance with them. Two, and this could just be me, it's a little weird with an older Cate Blanchett getting this kind of moment. Like, typically you have, like, the kid character, like, you were really the one who was important all the time, and then they become, like, they have their hero moment. No offense to Cate Blanchett. I think she's defining the role, and it's nothing to do with her age. She's kicking ass. She's great at what she does. Keep doing you. It just was weird to be like, the kid's the hero. Nope, it's actually this adult. It felt weird to me. So that revelation, and granted, maybe it's just me knowing the story of what Borderlands 1 is. It was like, yeah, that's that. Didn't have any surprise element. So at the end, they get to the vault. Tina can't open it because she's not the Iridian, lineage. Lilith somehow finds it out through learning more about her mom and Claptrap and stuff like that. So she comes in and saves the day. She finally becomes a siren, is able to use all these superpowers of the Firehawk, which they pulled from Borderlands 2. And they fight off Atlas and his corporation. Yippee. They go into the vault. There's the vault monster there. That's where they leave Atlas with the tentacle monster. There's no guns in there. And yeah, then they just all live happily ever after in Sanctuary. Weird. No hints at Handsome Jack, which, I mean, good, because there's probably not going to be another one of these movies. You guys want to know some disgusting stats? Hold on. Let's Borderlands movie budget. Okay. Ready for the grossness, right? This film had a production budget of $110 to $120 million. Not bad. The film received negative reviews from critics and is a commercial flop, grossing $18.9 million. Oh, God. Yeah, not great. Yeah, they didn't do great here. It's a little baffling, hearing that budget number that they did have, or the production number. CGI in this movie, some looks great. I will give it credit where credit is due. The animals and the wildlife of Pandora that you see from here to here, time to time, looks cool. Skaggs looks cool. The rack, and there's the crab looking things, looks fine. A lot of CGI does not. It looks very, you can tell, hey, I'm standing in front of a green or a blue screen. And granted, yes, that's obviously how they do these things. They just could have tried to hide it better or made it blend a little bit better. Yeah. I think, like I said, I think it was just too many elements tried to be put into one. I don't know how they could have done this better. Well, I don't have a defined answer of how they could have done this better. I don't know if it would have been just a more productive thing to Take Borderlands 1, copy paste. Open with Marcus on the bus, which I think Marcus and his actor did a great job. He's only in there very limited amount of time, but he was good. Have us open with the Vault Hunters. You could still do the opening monologue with Marcus, or even have Lilith do it as she did in here. Have the 4 heroes, Lilith, Roland, Brick, and Mordecai. Have them in there, and have them go on a treasure hunt story. You could still have that. Is it a little harder to have us care about so many characters with backstory during, like, you got to build everybody up? Yeah, that's difficult, but just because it came to mind, let's think about Star Wars. Think about, well, I'm thinking the most recent one with Rey and Finn and Poe, right? You could take any of them, obviously, the original Star Wars. These are characters everybody's being introduced to. But by the end of it, you feel investment in all 3 of them. You know Rey and Finn, at least at episode 7. They have potential to be the Jedi that goes against the bad. And Poe, being this awesome fighter pilot, is the big part of the rebellion, right? You have these 3 characters which, to the audience, had no history with. You built relationships with them through this 2-hour experience, right? And obviously that continues to the second and third movies, but it's doable. So to now add just one more character and make it the band of 4, I think that would have been possible. You could still have your different elements of Borderlands 1 in there. You could still have a Moxie. You could have your Claptrap. Just don't make them... Just have them be there, like Marcus being there as a facilitator to our 4 heroes. Have Claptrap show up at the beginning. Hey, obviously you're not going to do exactly everything in the game. He could be silly, he could be stupid, but he's just there. Have a Dr. Zed in the background. Have Moxie be a quick little thing, like she was in here, but it didn't really feel like her character. Still have that. You could still have Atlas be the big bad. I'm trying to remember who was the big bad in the first game. It was one of the companies. I am so sorry, I don't remember. Have everything play out there. Just, I don't know. Just do it better. It just didn't connect in this movie, unfortunately. I feel like there was something else I did want to talk about at least with this. Of course, I'm not seeing it in my notes. No, I don't know. The abilities. Okay, that's what I want to talk about. The characters didn't do anything that they did in the game. They were just people here. The whole thing, obviously, it's about guns and they're shooting, right? Characters don't have shields. Shields are introduced at the very end with Atlas. He's the only one who has shields until Lilith supercharges the other characters to have mystical, magical shields. Shields are not a component in this movie at all, or even talked about. Our characters do not have any of the abilities or special abilities that they have in the games, except for Lilith at the very end, once again, when she's Firehawk. She can't do any siren abilities throughout the film. In general, hand-to-hand combat, moment-to-moment combat, I guess you could say. Roland doesn't have his turret. I never played as Krieg as DLC, so I don't know what he did, if he just raged and smacked things harder with his axe. Nothing. So, I don't know. It just... very strange. I don't know what went wrong with this. I don't know if it was not the TLC of the source material, and like looking at that and understanding what they were taking from, and if this was just, hey, this is made money, let's do something with it. I have no idea. I just very, very disappointed. Yeah. My review, not great. Talking about it made me sad. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today and chilling with me for these 4 different topics. If you guys want to catch the podcast live, you can always go over to twitch.tv/Enigma9011. You can drop a follow over there. You'll get notified when we go live, so you join on the fun and conversation. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video in MP3 for amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, wherever you could support the show, likes, or however you can support the show, likes, subs, shares, reviews, whatever it is. It may seem small, but it does help the channel grow, so if you take the time to do that, we would love and appreciate you for it. Once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for your patience on the frequency of these episodes. Hopefully it'll be back to normal starting with this one, but appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you guys for giving this a watch, giving it a listen, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.